And joining us to discuss this is the Chief of Maiduguri Field Office, UNICEF Nigeria, Phuong Nguyen. Good to have you join us.
Great, good to be here. Thank you very much.
So we've seen the humanitarian crisis in the northern part of the country. Some of it also spills to the southern part, but majorly in the northern part. And you are in Maiduguri. Talk to us about the level of humanitarian crisis that we are now dealing with in the country.
Yes, thank you very much. And first of all, happy World Humanitarian Day. Here in Northeast Nigeria, we know that we have been in this crisis situation for 12 years now, and the situation is not improving. We still have large number of girls, of boys, families, women who are very much impacted by the crisis, and they are displaced, staying in various displaced persons camps across not only Borno, but also in Yobe and parts of Andamara. So we see challenges when it comes to lack of education for them, lack of safe water, nutrition, health, protection issues. So the situation has not improved, and if anything, the access for us humanitarian workers to get to those people most in need is the space is shrinking, and we're very challenged in order to reach those most in need. It is very much a difficult challenge. And hampering those efforts, besides the security, is also the climate change that is taking place. The rainy season is here. It cuts people off to be able to access food, and also cut us off from getting to them. So there's disease with the current potential outbreak of acute water diarrhea. It is very much a serious problem, but nonetheless, I think UNICEF, together with our and other humanitarian communities, we are joining forces to make sure and find ways so that we can reach those most in needs, including through the use of rapid response mechanism.
And it's interesting you mentioned the climate crisis, which has now led to food and water scarcity, resulting in community clashes in some of these areas in the northern part of the country, and because people are fighting over resources. So how much of that is contributing to the recent humanitarian crisis that we have in the country?
Yes, it is very challenging when people, particularly those who are in displaced persons camps, if people don't have livelihood means and opportunities, they very much are dependent on the support of humanitarian communities. And without the security in place, without the space, without livelihood opportunities, it makes for a very dire situation. With the rising food prices, with being cut off, without the humanitarian space, with road cutoffs, it is a bit of a recipe for disaster. And we have to find means, we have to work together collaboratively across agencies, together with the communities, together with the government, to make sure that we find the most accessible ways of getting to them, if not by road, by air, but we have to do that, and we can only do that together. Otherwise, we're going to be facing a very dire situation of food insecurity in the next few months.
And it's interesting, you also mentioned the challenges that humanitarian workers go through in trying to have access to people who need the help the most. But I just want to take a statement from the Edward Callon. He said the climate energy emergency is a race we cannot afford to lose. And we know that the federal government here, which is the Federal Executive Council, recently approved the revised national climate change policy in the country. If we are to move forward in terms of a humanitarian crisis and reducing the number of people who need help in the country and who need humanitarian aid, what sort of policies do you think that we should be implementing at the moment? What areas need to be attended to in terms of urgency?
Yes, I think when it comes to policy, policies are only as good as they are political will to action. So on this World Humanitarian Day, we really on behalf of humanitarian communities, we need to make sure that we action these policies and not only talk the talk, but also walk the talk. And I think, what we started to do yesterday here in Borno, for example, is that with the support and the leadership of the Borno state government, we actually planted trees, mango trees, cashew trees, orange trees, to really see how we can start supporting today, but the action that we do today will support the future generations. So that's a start of what we're doing. Now, in terms of also action, we need the support of everyone, not only humanitarian agencies and the government, but also the people. And I think it's important through education for children, involving them in the climate change action, teaching them as part of the curriculum how to care for the environment. I think that's also very important. UNICEF has provided to communities boreholes, latrines, water points, and so forth. We also train the communities on how to support the operational maintenance of those water systems so that we do not waste water. It's a precious commodity.
Absolutely.
And so not only do we provide the support, but we also train the communities to also own these water points so that when they need to fix it, we provide the tools and the training so that they too do their part in order to strengthen and use those resources carefully and cautiously.
Absolutely. Phuong, I just want to say thank you to you and your colleagues. We know that most times your life is at risk just doing this work. So thank you to all of you, and happy World Humanitarian Day.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time. And again, happy World Humanitarian Day to you.